You're listening to The Pump Fake.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome into the latest edition of The Pump Fake, brought to you by FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Jarrett Bailey here with you, as always, on a Monday after Week 14, joined by my good friend JP Acosta, which means it is a JP Acosta Monday. What's up, pal?
Nothing much. I feeling good. We're reaching the end game of college football and the NFL, but it's flying by.
Yeah, it always does. You and I were talking just before we started, and it's like, man, it's already almost over. It's crazy. It always flies by. Once we get into the swing of things, like week 1, you blink, it's week 15. So, such is life in the NFL. But an exciting week 14 to talk about, full of a lot of rivalry games, a lot of games of playoff implications, and we'll talk about all of them today. So if you're watching on YouTube, please be sure to subscribe. If you're listening as a podcast, leave a comment, leave a review. Let's hop into the first game, a very fun one in Buffalo. The Bills defeating the Bengals 39-34. Both quarterbacks going back and forth. Excuse me. It seemed like the Bengals had the advantage. They were up 21-11 at one point in this game going into the half. And Buffalo couldn't buy a stop. Joe Burrow, his ADOT in this game was, I think, like 9.6. They were pushing the ball downfield consistently. They were finding success doing it. T. Higgins had a big game. They were able to do basically what they wanted through about the first 50 minutes of the game. And then the tide completely changes. Christian Benford picks off Joe Burrow, runs it back for a touchdown. The very next play from scrimmage for the Bengals, Jordan Phillips gets a hand on a Joe Burrow pass that's picked off by A.J. Epinesa, and the Bills hold on to win the game, get to 9-4 on the season. They now own the top wild card spot in the AFC. Cincinnati not mathematically eliminated because of everything going on in the AFC North, but things look grim. In terms of Buffalo, this is a game that I think that they needed to win, both, obviously for playoff standings, but this kind of game where we saw it in week 1 with the crazy comeback, and we see it again against Cincinnati. It must be something with AFC North teams where they just really save their best play for the final few minutes. But a really great game from Josh Allen, and in doing so, elevates Buffalo to the number 1 or the number 5 seed and the top wildcard seed in the AFC.
I think in this game, first of all, the Bengals going from up 10 to down 11 in a span of like 4 minutes
Crazy.
Was incredibly funny because you had the Josh Allen scramble touchdown. Then they move the ball down the field. Then the Benford pick 6 happens. And then, like you said, the tip interception to Epinesa, and the Bengals are right back where we thought they would be. For the Bills, I think they needed to win this kind of game. And I think Josh Allen needed to have this kind of game to remember that, like, his scrambles help move the ball, especially in a game where, like, I wouldn't say the passing game was off, but the receivers portion of the passing game was off. They had a lot of
his leading receiver was number 2 tight end Dawson Knox. So that says a lot.
Like, there were a lot of big passes to tight ends, which of course makes sense because the Bengals have some of the worst linebackers in the NFL. But in this game, having Josh Allen as a scrambler makes so much sense. It means so much to the offense to keep them not only on schedule, but it generates explosives. Again, it's a lot like the Chiefs. The Bills and the Chiefs, as equal as they are and as they have been in the last few years, this feels like the Bills version of what the Chiefs were in 2024 or in 2023, where they're going to try and be uber razor efficient. The Bills using the run game and the Chiefs using their RPO game. And then on third downs, on money downs, they ask their quarterbacks to win via scrambles or doing something. So I think this game was huge for Josh Allen as a scrambler. And it just makes sense to kind of attack where they're weakest. And like you said, they own the first wild card spot. That means a lot in an AFC where not a lot is certain.
Yeah, especially when you look at what the AFC playoff picture looks like if the season ended today. The Bills would go to Pittsburgh, a place that they just won very handedly a week ago. And this is like the dream scenario somehow for Buffalo. Like, yeah, they may not win the AFC East, but if you ask them, hey, would you rather win the AFC East and have, the playoffs be pretty similar to how they've been over the past few years, or would you rather be maybe the 5 seed, but Kansas City and Buffalo both don't get in? I think I know which one they'd pick, and it would be the second one. If things stay the way they are, there's a very realistic chance that we could get an AFC title game of like Buffalo hosting the Texans, the 5 hosting the 7, depending on, how things fall. Both those teams look really good right now. So I think this actually is pretty advantageous for Buffalo if things stay this way.
I think so. And again, it just shows you with the AFC, anybody can get got. Like anybody in this conference, based on the playoff teams now, like everybody has a flaw that can lead to their downfall at any point in the season, which is what makes football fun. Like this is really cool. Like the Bills. I mean, Bills are a fantastic team, also have major flaws that were on display in this game. The Bengals walked up and down the field until the Benford pick 6. So it's type of games where you're like, okay, this team is beatable, but as long as they have Josh Allen, as long as they have everybody healthy up front, they can still make a lot of big plays.
They can. And, for them now, you look at what they have ahead of them. Still have another game against New England. If they beat the Patriots and if they get a little bit of help, New England still has to go to Baltimore. That's not going to be, just a gimme win. So there is a chance that they can still come back and win the division. And I mean, if they do that and they're like the 2 seed with these current playoff teams, then it would be a very much, all right, if not now, when are you going to get through and get to the Super Bowl? And that's how I feel about them right now, especially just looking at the rest of the conference is like, all right, like, things are falling your way pretty well. You got to take advantage of it.
Yeah, this is we said it coming into the season for the Bills. If not now, like there won't be another chance. You're not going to catch Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs at their weakest point like this again. So if they're going to do it, this year might be the year to do it.
Yeah. And speaking of Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, I'm very surprised. This felt like. But the Chiefs are now on my no bet list for the rest of the year. This is entering territory for me. We're just like, all right. I thought against Dallas, where it's like, all right, it's Kansas City. They'll get back on the horse. They'll figure it out, get back on the straight and narrow. Going into Sunday night, all right, back against the wall. They're at home. The Texans have been on a hot streak. Feels like they're naturally ready for a come down. No, Kansas City can't move the ball at all. They can't run the ball at all. They don't try to run the ball. If it's not out of shotgun. And Patrick Mahomes has, I think, pretty comfortably his worst game as a pro. He completed less than 50% of his passes, threw 3 interceptions, didn't throw a touchdown. And Kansas City loses to Houston. They're now under 500 in December. I think they said it on the broadcast last night for the first time in a decade. This is shaping up for a lot of changes to come in Kansas City, staff-wise, roster-wise, in the offseason. There's still scenarios where if they win out and, actually decently likely scenarios in terms of like what the Chargers do and teams in front of them do to still get the 7 seed. I'm not going to bank on that happening, though, especially with what we've seen from them this season, especially over the last few weeks. Credit to Houston. I mean, their defense is ungodly good. They held Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes to a combined 0 touchdowns and 5 picks. Like that's a special performance when you're doing that. So credit to Houston. But obviously the big story here is, all right, Kansas City 6-7, probably going to miss the playoffs.
You remember Scott Hall in TNA?
Yeah.
You remember Kurt Angle at the end of his the second WWE run?
Yeah.
The retirement match against Baron Corbin.
Mm-hmm.
You remember Jeff Jarrett in AEW?
Yeah.
That's the Kansas City Chiefs.
Mm.
It's the whole, we know what you used to be and we see what you're trying to make work. It's just not working anymore. Yeah. This season has been a year full of, we're trying to find out why the things that have worked for this team before aren't working. And against Houston, they couldn't. The Texans, when they went to man coverage, realized that Kansas City didn't have anybody that could beat them downfield. Against man coverage, Patrick Mahomes went 3 for 11. That is one of the worst rates that he's had this season. It's the lowest completions he had against man coverage this season, tied with the Jaguars game on Monday night. Like, it's that kind of season for Kansas City. It's not only they haven't been good against man coverage, but there were like 5 drops last night. The Kelsey drop on the Azeez Al-Shaair interception was one where Travis Kelsey normally makes that catch. The one before that, Travis Kelsey normally makes that catch. The 4th and 5, Rashee Rice normally makes that catch. But it's come down to those moments where we said the Chiefs win in the margins. They win on incredibly razor-thin margins. It doesn't feel like they're winning in those areas right now. And that's why this team is 6-7 and not 12-0 or 11-2.
Yeah, 12-0 in one-score games like they were a year ago.
Yeah,
those margins have very much evened out.
Those margins have evened out. The margins have gotten razor thin for this team. They can't really run the ball out of shotgun, even though they run out of shotgun so much.
They do.
But ultimately, this offense they just might not have it this year. And it's a shame to say because Patrick Mahomes has been very good this season. It's just everything else is sort of falling apart. But the Texans are dangerous. I would argue they are
very much so.
They are the most dangerous team in the AFC because they have the best defense in football. And I think the Texans offense is figuring it out. They're not going to score 30 points a game. They're not going to be this uber efficient unit. They still allowed like a 52% pressure rate on CJ Stroud on Sunday, but they have an idea of what they want to be.
Yeah, and we see them getting guys like Jaden Higgins had a big 3rd down catch that got them a 1st down late in the game. It was a nails throw from CJ Stroud. They're figuring out ways to get the ball to Jalen Noel as well. Nico Collins is still like a very good receiver. And their running back by committee approach, like Woody Marks has had a nice role in the offense. Dario Ngubawale had a touchdown last night. He very rarely sees the field offensively. So they're getting like production from role players when they're called upon. And, on top of CJ Stroud kind of figuring things out and getting back into the rhythm of things after missing some time, they kept the ship afloat with Davis Mills. And with CJ Stroud coming back and the defense really hitting its stride, that is what we're seeing what the end product could look like for Houston. Not a team that anybody's going to be lining up to play anytime soon. And when you look at the rest of the AFC South, like your Jaguars right now are sitting on top. The Colts are in a free fall, and obviously, it sucks what happens with Daniel Jones, but it's going to be Riley Leonard the rest of the way there.
Maybe Riley Leonard. He has a knee injury.
Oh, good. So it might be Tyler Warren under center. Yeah, let's just roll with Tyler Warren and see what happens.
They have Brett Rippon, who lost a horrendous QB battle to Max Brosmer this preseason.
And we all saw what Max Brosmer looked like against Seattle. So imagine, the Vikings saw both of those guys and said, "We'll take Max Brosmer." So that tells you where the Colts are quarterback wise. Because remember, Anthony Richardson's also hurt. So there's just a bunch of stuff not going their way after starting 7-1. So Houston, they started 0-3, but they are very much. I would expect them to come all the way back and win the AFC South.
I think they have a good shot, mainly because they played their Broncos game early and the Jaguars have their Broncos game late. But I still think the Jaguars are going to win the AFC South. I think if they handle business, that's all you need to do. If they handle business, the Jaguars should win the AFC South. But the Texans can make the playoffs. And if they make the playoffs, if they get in and face one of those, like if they face the Jaguars again in the playoffs, if they somehow get the Broncos as the 7 seed, like, hey man, like it might get a little spooky. I mean,
if it's Texans Broncos, that is going to be the ugliest offensive game we've ever seen, but two of the best defenses in football. That would be a fun matchup.
That's what I'm hoping we get. I'm hoping we get Texans Broncos, but I do think that would require them to stay at the 7 seed, and that require the Chargers to stay at the 6 seed.
Right.
So we're hoping for a lot, but I do think that this Texans team, if they make the playoffs, good luck to whoever's got to play them.
Don't mind me. We're just moving plugs and whatnot. This is what you get when you do a live podcast. All right, here we go. We're back. Let's move on to another AFC game that had a lot of playoff implications. The Steelers go into Baltimore and get a win on the road. Aaron Rodgers has his first rushing touchdown in 4 years. He does the whole discount double check celebration, and I got to say, it brought a tear to my eye being able to see that as a Steelers fan. So that was exciting. But the Steelers came out aggressive right from the jump. Their first play from scrimmage is a 52-yard pass from Rodgers to DK Metcalf. They go for it on 4th down inside the red zone on that drive, and that leads to the Aaron Rodgers touchdown. That kind of set the tone for Pittsburgh going into the afternoon. They hadn't been explosive whatsoever over the last month or so through the air. DK has, I think, 3 catches of 20 or more yards. Calvin Austin adds another. They were able to win downfield against Baltimore. They only ran for 34 yards, but the passing game really carried them. Defensively, they came up in big moments when they needed to. And Pittsburgh gets the win on the road, gets a 7-6. They control their own destiny, as does Baltimore, though. Still, these two teams play each other in the final game of the season. So if Baltimore wins out, they'll win the division. If Pittsburgh wins out, they'll win the division. I don't expect either of those things to happen. I'm sure there's going to be multiple more wrinkles thrown in there. Should we start with the collection of controversial calls, though, that seem to plague this game? Because that seems to be what everybody's talking about. The Isaiah Likely touchdown, that was a touchdown. My God, what a horrible call. I was incredibly surprised that was overturned. The Rodgers interception fumble thing where he had it in his hands with his knees down. I think that was probably a turnover. Surprised it didn't get called a turnover. There were a few calls in this game that very much went the way of Pittsburgh. John Harbaugh was, pissed about it after the game, pissed about it during the game, and understandably so. And I think that when you have things like that, we're talking about it today, it just makes the product, obviously not unwatchable because, it's the NFL, but it puts a little bit of a stain on what should have just been a matchup between two teams fighting for a playoff spot. And now all we're talking about is, wow, those are 2 bad calls.
I want to talk about how these are 2 bad teams.
They're both horrible. Yeah, none of them are good.
I don't want to see the AFC North in the playoffs. We should combine, we should have, if the AFC North makes the playoffs, we should put together an all-star team of the division.
That's a decent shout. All right, I like this. Go ahead.
Don't put the AFC North. Don't put the Steelers in the playoffs. I do not want to see the Steelers in the playoffs. We can take the Bengals offense.
Okay. And the Browns defense.
The Browns defense. And pick whoever you want as your coach from the division. I guess it'd be in a single game sample size. I guess you'd choose either Tomlin or Harbaugh. Mm-hmm. But I don't want to see any of these teams in the playoffs. It took for the Steelers, of course, happy that Aaron Rodgers finally remembered how to throw the ball downfield. I think it took Roman Wilson being inactive for him to actually be oh, yeah, I remember I could throw the ball downfield.
Which is strange because, Roman Wilson's not good, but, when you compare him and, Calvin Austin, at least Roman Wilson on tape has, gotten open some. Calvin, I'm surprised that he was the one to get the scratch.
I think it's hilarious because Roman Wilson ran a wrong route last week. Rodgers is not throwing him the ball ever again. But I think the reason he was able to do that is because the Ravens couldn't get pass rush. And for a Baltimore Ravens team that prides itself on physicality, they're not very physical on either side of the line, which is why I come back to the Steelers, because they're not physical. The Ravens aren't physical up front, and the Steelers allowed 217 rushing yards. Look, man, without Derek Harmon on the field, this run game is atrocious.
Yeah, it's not good.
It is awful. It's awful run defense. Yaya Black is getting pushed into the DMV. He's getting
there was one run they ran duo, and Yaya Black's just getting shoved out of the club, and there's just a parting of the Red Sea for Derrick Henry to run. It was the easiest thing you've ever seen.
Keanu Benton's more of a 3-tech than he is a nose tackle, and you're not putting Cam Hayward at nose. That's his least impactful position. But like you said, they just get timely plays when they needed them. They got timely sacks from Alex Highsmith. They got timely plays from their secondary, from Patrick Queen. They got timely plays from their secondary. And then from the Ravens' perspective, I know they can still win the division, but I'm kind of tired of this team.
Yeah.
I just feel like they have too many holes. defensively and offensively to really be like a super, like the team that we thought they could be going into the season. Daniel Falele and Andrew Voorhees have been really bad at guard. And because Lamar still is not 100% healthy, because the hamstring injury, the toe injury, the knee injury, all that stuff is happening, he's not the same runner. And you can see how everything on the entire Ravens team is circled around the ecosystem of Lamar Jackson. If Lamar is not 100%, the team is not good.
It's like when who had the joke about it? I can't remember who. I want to say it was Daniel Tosh who had the joke about like when LeBron left Cleveland, that was really bad for the Cavaliers, but also the city of Cleveland because their whole economic plan was LeBron. And whenever you take that out, everything else just falls apart.
Yeah, when you take Lamar Jackson out of this offense, when you take a less than 100% Lamar Jackson out of this offense, there was a play where like the lane is wide open for him to scramble to get an explosive. He slides for 4 yards.
Yep.
And I was like, oh yeah, he's not healthy. And it's really hard to mentally get over the block of the hamstring pull or a really bad hamstring strain, because you're thinking in the back of your head, any moment when you're running full speed, it can go out on you. And then you combine that with the toe and the knee injuries that he's dealt with. I wouldn't be surprised if the Ravens do lose in the next couple of weeks. I won't be surprised if they shut him down because this season isn't going anywhere. But again, like the Steelers are gonna keep them in the playoff race. The Steelers are going to keep the Ravens in this playoff push. The Steelers are going to keep them in the division. It's going to come down to week 18. But like I said, I don't really trust either of these teams.
Yeah, so the Steelers will play Miami next Monday night. I know everybody's like talking about, oh, the Dolphins have won 4 in a row. I got to say, I don't give a shit. No, the Steelers aren't good. I'm not, pounding the table saying, oh, their world's better than the Dolphins. No, like it'll probably still be a 1-score game. I expect them to win. Then they go on the road to Detroit where they will proceed to lose by 80. Like the Dolphins are going to baptize that team. And then they close out the season at Cleveland and then against Baltimore. If they can just take care of, hey, beat the Dolphins at home, beat Shedeur Sanders on the road, you're going to lose to Detroit. But if they can also get a favor or two, that's why the magic number for both these teams is 2. If the Steelers win 2 games and Baltimore loses 2 games, and the Steelers are fine. The Ravens have to hope for a little bit of help, which they very well may get. They have a tough schedule where they've got to play New England. They go on the road to Green Bay. They play in Cincinnati next week, and then they close out against Pittsburgh. Like the Steelers have an easier road to get there. The Ravens have the advantage of having probably the better overall team. So I wouldn't be shocked if it comes down to week 18. Obviously, as a Steelers fan, I would love if it didn't. But we shall see. Let's get to the rest of the week 18 slate. We'll kind of just go down the list here. Seattle, after a slow start in the first half, it was 6-6 at one point. The Seahawks won 37-9. It looked like we were going to get another bad Sam Darnold game. He throws a pick in the first half. Atlanta takes a quick lead, and it doesn't last very long, and then it just becomes the Seahawks pouring it on. This is still a good team. They go cross country, dismantle a bad team on the road. That's what good teams do. Seattle gets a nice win.
With the defense playing the way they are and the Sam Darnold to JSN connection still looking strong, anything can happen in the NFC. They have enough to be the NFC champion, especially defensively.
I agree. As long as Sam Darnold, I feel the same way about like Sam Darnold right now, the way I do about Jared Goff in a playoff game, where it's like, all right, dude, if you just absolutely avoid the random, Jared Goff threw 4 picks and looks like he's never touched a football before game, then I think that they're in a good spot. Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward meet for the first time, and the Titans put up 31 on the Browns defense, just like we all expected in a win. Very impressive performance from Cam Ward. Shedeur played very well as well. Weird 2-point conversion call by Kevin Stefanski at the end of the game. Sure.
I mean, I'm not going to sit here and defend Kevin Stefanski because they've run Wildcat.
They've done it a lot.
It's gone well. Quinshawn Judkins just forgot the play.
Yeah, he forgot to toss it back on the pitch.
But given the fact that Shedeur Sanders was throwing the ball great, I think you kind of got to ride the hot hand. And
I agree.
It's just really tough. But Shedeur played really well. And one thing I do want to say is that he is constantly improving.
The touchdown pass to Jerry Jeudy, very good throw. Obviously, Jerry, did the yak stuff afterwards, but in terms of like the throw, it was on target. And
the Fannin touchdown was really good.
Very good, yeah.
He's improving in his pocket presence. So you're seeing tangible traits that make you go, I want to see Shedeur potentially starting in 2026, whether it be for Cleveland or for anybody else in the NFL, because I think there's something there. I don't know if it's like full, like quality NFL starter yet, but if the Browns win enough games to take them out of the QB area, then Shedeur's probably going to get that starting spot in 2026.
I still feel like they're going to hang around and probably try to get Fernando or Dante Moore. And if that's the case, then Shedeur Sanders is the most obvious Raiders quarterback of all time. And that's fine. That's fine. I think that will be better for everybody involved. And he can go somewhere and be the starter next year, because I think that that's better than running back Geno and what we've seen so far from Vegas this year.
Well, right now, the Browns are sitting at the 4th overall pick.
Yeah, who are in front of them?
The Giants, Raiders, and Titans. So
Giants and Titans aren't taking them.
The two teams that don't need a quarterback are sitting ahead of them. But if they keep winning games, the Jets might jump them because the Jets beat the Browns.
Yeah.
Atlanta, sneaky.
Well, it doesn't matter. It would be the Rams who do that, and the Rams would then fall upwards into. Can you imagine if the Rams make a run to like the NFC title game or Super Bowl, and then also get to parlay that into drafting like Dante Moore? That would be.
They're gonna draft Dante Moore, and Sean McVay will live forever. That's exactly what's gonna happen.
Probably. The Minnesota Vikings win 31-0 against a Commanders team who, like, can they just, hey, this is not a real NFL team right now. Our quarterback gets injured every other time he steps on the field. I think that the report is that they're going to try to have him ready to go at some point again this season. You're 3-10. Keep him off the field. Let Marcus Mariota finish this thing out. Go get a draft pick high enough to help build your team around. Zach Ertz tears his ACL in this game. That's probably the last snap of his career, unfortunately. Wish nothing but the best for Zach Ertz. This is a bad football team. Nice performance from J.J. McCarthy. 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Something that he very badly needed.
I do got to say, I'm going to sound like a hater. He only threw 13 passes when the game was actually close.
That's fair. He only had $163 on the
fine. Day. It is fine for him to only throw 13 passes and you win 31-0.
Yeah.
If it were me and my team would win 31-0 with a quarterback only throwing 13 passes when the game was close, absolutely. Yeah. I'll take that every single day of the week, because you know what? You win the game. But I do think we have to seriously consider Dan Quinn's job. Because,
really?
Because Dan Quinn hasn't had a good defense since 2015, and this defense is also not good. Their defense last year was not actually good.
No, it was not.
So at this point, like, if you're the defense guy and the defense is bad, what do you do here in a way?
I think that there's got to be some pressure to have him go get a new defensive coordinator, like a real defensive coordinator at this point, and hand over the reins of the defense. Is it Joe Witt that's their defensive coordinator right now?
It was, but he took over play calling.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Dan Quinn took over. So if they want to fire the defensive play caller, that's on you, bud.
Yeah, I don't think that they're in fire Quinn territory yet, because he did a great job in year one of. I honestly know that the defense is under his control, but he's still the head coach at the end of the day, overseeing everything. They went to the NFC title game. I think that there is a very good argument to say, hey, go get a new defensive coordinator that you give the reins to, and don't have your fingerprints all over. Be just a CEO head coach that steers the ship and keeps everything under control, makes the right decisions in that regard. But I do think, yes, go get a new defensive coordinator and hope that things get better, because personnel-wise, they're old. They made that trade for Marshawn Lattimore last year. That didn't work out. Bobby Wagner is like, I remember watching the Dolphins game. And was it Madrid?
Yeah.
And just like trying to watch him chase the speed that the Dolphins, like, it was kind of sad. I was like, oh my God.
Trying to chase down Evan Ingram last week.
Oh my goodness.
It's just, man, like it really does feel like we're watching, the washed NBA memes.
Yes.
I was just photo of Celtic Shaq.
Yeah.
That's what watching Bobby Wagner feels like.
This is Patrick Ewing in a Magic jersey.
Like the kid, Gen Alpha will never know the greatness of Bobby Wagner as a Seattle Seahawk. They will only know washed version of Bobby Wagner. And I think that's sad.
I agree. The Jets lose to Miami 34-10. Brady Cook played most of this game for the Jets. The Dolphins, punched a team in the mouth. They get to 6-7 on the year. They've won 4 in a row. As I said at the top of the show, I don't really care. It's a nice win. And Mike McDaniel has kept this group like behind him, and they've avoided a completely catastrophic season, and that's good. I don't take them seriously as like a team that's going to make a push for a wild card spot. But a nice win, a dominant win. And like I said, they avoid a completely like catastrophic season.
The Dolphins and the Chiefs have the same record.
Pretty crazy.
Like imagine
and the Ravens.
And the Ravens. Like the Chiefs and Ravens going, oh my God, fire everybody. We're 6-7. While the Dolphins are like, hey man, we're still in it.
Yep.
We're close. Don't let the Dolphins get hot. Don't let them get hot. I do want to say Aaron Brewer, center for the Miami Dolphins, playing his way into an all-pro nod. He has been awesome for them. He's been incredible. One of their core franchise players, I think. Keep him around for a long time. He is the linchpin behind everything they like to do up front. So I think he's played really well this season. I just want to shout him out.
They've also got like a nice collection of backs because Devin Achane dealing with an injury. Jalen Wright came in and played well. So they have the whole mantra of like get all the fast guys. Like when it works, you can see why they do it. You can see what the goal is. And it worked against the Jets. So we'll see. They play next week in Pittsburgh. If they get to 7-7 and like continue to climb up
that game.
Oh yeah, that game should be played on like the TLC network at 3 p.m.
Put that game on Tubi.
Yeah,
with the Cam Ward documentary.
They'll hype it up something as like, oh, Aaron Rodgers like final Monday night game. It'll be something.
He's gonna come back next year on like the freaking Raiders.
I don't think it's a 0% chance he comes back next year for the Steelers, especially if like they get into the playoffs and win a playoff game. I could see him being like, yeah, what the hell, I'll do it one more time.
That's a lot of ifs.
I didn't say it was a high chance. I just said I could see it happening.
Like, we're saying like if they make the playoffs, and then if they make the playoffs, if they win a game, like I wouldn't go that far yet.
No, I completely agree. I'm just saying I could see a world where he does come back. One of the biggest upsets of the day, the Saints beat the Buccaneers 24-20. What the hell's happened to the Buccaneers, man? 7-6 now. They have the same record as the Panthers. Both they play each other twice in this final month. That's going to decide the NFC South. The Carolina Panthers could very well win this division.
Since week 10, the Bucs are 25th in success rate on offense. That's not good. That's not good at all. Like they miss Mike Evans a lot. And not only do they miss Mike Evans, they miss Liam Cohen. And I think because they don't have that automatic outside threat, everybody else on the offense has really started to take a step back. Chris Godwin is not the same player that he is. Emeka Egbuka splits with Mike Evans on the field versus off the field. He's a rookie when he's off the field. Like he is now the number one guy on the outside. And I just think Baker's just been inaccurate. Like he hasn't thrown with the same conviction over the middle of the field. So I worry about this Bucs team because Mike Evans just got his 21-day window opened. So maybe he'll come back, but it doesn't feel the same offensively.
No, not at all. And there's a play in this game where Egbuka was open for a touchdown. It hits him in the hands. Looks like he jumped maybe a little bit early and it bounces off his hands. They don't score. So like there are things, you look at the first half of the year where, everybody, the Buccaneers are like America's team. Baker's in the playoff race, kind of led a few laps in the playoff race. But now at 7-6, this last month becomes incredibly important. I do want to highlight Tyler Shuck. I don't think he's like, the future of the Saints or anything, but he deserves a pat on the back for the performance. He had a couple rushing touchdowns, made a few big plays when they needed him to. Fun load of performance for Tyler Shuck.
He has played the Saints out of the Mendoza line, which is good. Like you can say like, let's just go get another skill position player and see what we can build around him. I'm not saying he's a surefire plus starter, but you can see him being your potential bridge or give him a shot as a starter next year. And if he's bad, just go get Arch Manning. Like that's what you wanted to do anyway.
Right. And it's, different for New Orleans compared to, I don't know, a team like the Jets or the Browns, where like the Browns, okay, you have Shador, but he's a 5th round pick. You're not married to him long term. The Saints spent a 2nd round pick on Tyler Shuck. So like I think that they at least are hoping that he can be something going forward. And he's shown something, not just in this game, but like, I think it was Ian Ponitz did a cut up of his some Tyler Shuck throws that have been made this year. I'm not going to pretend I've watched every down of the Saints, and seeing a few of those throws in there, like, all right, there could be something there. So good for Tyler Shuck. Your Jaguars get a 36-19 win over the Colts. Trevor Lawrence, dude, like I had this game on as like a quad box game. I felt like every time I was looking over, Trevor Lawrence was making the greatest throw I've ever seen. Like legitimately one of the best Trevor Lawrence games I can recall. He was on one. The Jaguars get a big win. Again, unfortunate what happened to Daniel Jones. The Colts continue to free fall. But the story of the game outside of that for me is, okay, Trevor Lawrence played really well. The Jaguars are still leading the division. And yeah, they're gaining some momentum at the right time.
Trick shot Trevor Lawrence is back.
Like the dude perfect version of Trevor Lawrence.
Dude perfect Trevor Lawrence. Mind you, they played in the rain.
Yeah.
This was a downpour. And he was just delivering strikes. He was throwing heat. The spin out throw to Tim Patrick, that's replaying in my brain. I want that playing at my funeral. The slot fade to Brian Thomas Jr., beautiful. The touchdown to Jacoby Myers was also a great throw, great design.
By the way, since the Jaguars have traded for Jacoby Myers, he's turned into like prime Randy Moss. I feel like every game he's scoring.
Since the trade, Jacoby Myers is 10th in the NFL in yards per route run.
Wow.
Like he's been legitimately awesome. But what I think it is he is allowed for everybody else to be much better in their specific roles because he is so good over the middle of the field and in contested situations. It allows Brian Thomas Jr. to do more vertical stuff. He gives him the explosive element that he wasn't doing in the first part of the season because he had to be the middle of the field guy, which he was not. So now he's able to do what he does best. Tim Patrick is in as a blocker and can make those crazy catches on the sideline. You have Brenton Strange working really well. Parker Washington is still going to come back in all this. But Trevor Lawrence is playing with such an insane level of confidence. Since the Jacoby Myers trade, he is 1st in the NFL in success rate.
Wow.
Like he has been at such a high level, and it just makes all the Liam Cohen doesn't like Trevor Lawrence. They're going to trade Trevor at the end of the season. It just makes it look all very funny because like, no, like he's coaching him. And that's what they needed.
It's going to be very fun next year when Travis Hunter gets put into this mix as well. And then you've got Brian Thomas, Jacoby Myers, and Travis Hunter all in that mix somehow, working in Parker Washington as well. Like that could be a very dangerous passing game in 2026. And it's not one of those situations where like with Calvin Ridley, it was like, okay, yeah, the season's kind of lost, but hey, next year Calvin Ridley's coming. It's like, okay, we're playing great. Oh, and also next season, we're getting a lot of reinforcements. So very exciting team that the Jaguars have become. And again, another team that controls its own destiny in terms of where they finish. As long as they take care of their own business, they'll win the AFC South and yeah, host a playoff game. How fun.
That would hosting a playoff game in year 1 of the Liam Cohen experience would be really cool.
Would you be in the building for that?
I would hope so. Yeah. I hope so. Last time I was in the building for a playoff game, it went well. So we're going to try and recreate that magic.
I love it. The Denver Broncos beat the Las Vegas Raiders 24-17. Somebody check Pete Carroll's phone because he kicked a meaningless field goal to hit the over and cover. That's suspicious. But yeah, Denver gets the win. They remain the top seed in the AFC. Bo Nix threw 212 yards on 31 completions. This is such a strange team, Denver. Their offense or defensively, make the argument, best defense in football, tremendous unit filled with studs. Offensively, I couldn't care less about them. I really couldn't.
I think offensively, they're still trying to find their groove. And without J.K. Dobbins, some of the run game stuff has been a little hot and cold. R.J. Harvey's starting to turn a corner, which is hopefully going to be good because J.K. Dobbins isn't coming back this season. Passing game is going to be what it is with Bo Nix. It's going to run hot. It's going to run cold. I think he's growing in his relationship with Pat Bryant on the field. The on-field connection is growing a lot there. But yeah, man, defensively, this team is going to rule. That's how they're going to win a lot of games. Defense, and you got Mile High. They're going to be incredibly tough to beat in the playoffs come playoff time.
I think that depending on the matchups that they get, it can be pretty advantageous if they get, a lesser quarterback or a lesser offense, because that's just going to play right into their hands. I would be intrigued if we get like a Buffalo Denver game where, Josh Allen can take over at any point. And the Denver's offense isn't very good. That would be a very fun yin-yang game to get in the postseason. Jordan Love and the Packers, 28-21 over the Bears. Now, you talked about trick shot Trevor. Jordan Love with all these fadeaway jumpers that he's hitting. Threw a beautiful one to Christian Watson. Threw another one to, Bo Melton or Malik Heath, one of the depth receivers that they have. For the second touchdown. Christian Watson has another touchdown in the second half on just a quick inbreaker that he takes the rest of the way. I was also impressed with the Bears, though. It came down to the final drive. They were, a lot of people looked at the line going into this game. It was 6.5 and felt that Chicago was getting a little bit disrespected. But the fact that it came down to the final play, a play that DJ Moore would have walked into the end zone on if Caleb Williams would have looked slightly to his right. But the fact that Chicago held their own and played very well against a Bears team that over the last decade has very much owned them. I think it's promising for Chicago, although they go from the 1 seed to the 7, and then Green Bay climbs up to the 2. But a promising game for the Bears and a really nice performance from Jordan Love and the Packers offense to feel good about.
I think when we discuss the final play, the touchdown, the interception, so he actually makes the right decision. Caleb Williams makes the right decision because that play was open last week. That play was open. That was a touchdown they scored against the Eagles to put the game away. It was the right decision because if you watch the play, DeAndre Swift's man goes to guard DJ Moore. DJ Moore's man ends up guarding nobody. Cole Kmet is slips out the back, wide open. But Caleb sees him late and throws it late and throws. He said he tried to throw him a big boy ball. Go up and go get it. But he underthrows it, giving Keyshawn Nixon enough time to get under it, make the play. So I actually think he made the right decision. It was just an inaccurate pass, which I think is sort of descriptive of what Caleb Williams is as a passer this season. The right decision was made. It just wasn't an inaccurate pass, even though I do think he had some really, really nice throws in this one, especially outside the pocket. He made a lot of stuff shake, but Jordan Love is a master at this point. I think he has done such a good job of mastering this offense. This is now year 3 for him as the starter?
Yeah.
Full-time starter. And you can tell his command of the offense has grown. He had a lot of impressive throws. The most impressive play to me was the slant to Christian Watson because he motions to Christian Watson to run the slant. They check the play knowing what the coverage is going to be, and he throws it. He's wide open. Christian Watson runs away for Chauncey Gardner-Johnson and scores. When the Packers are playing with Jordan Love being aggressive and they're putting the ball in Jordan Love's hands and letting Josh Jacobs sort of be just the hammer to kind of don't run it on first and second down like as hard because they just don't have the offensive line for that. But letting Jordan Love cook, this Packers offense can win you a Super Bowl.
Yeah, absolutely. And the conversation early in the year was like they were so predictable because God and everybody knew that they were just going to hand the ball to Josh Jacobs when it came to first down. It was predictable. They couldn't do anything with it. They've evolved, and it's become Jordan Love's offense, as it should be. And they were my Super Bowl pick coming out of the NFC ahead of the season. They had a little bit of a rough patch. Even when they were winning games, they weren't like beating teams handedly that they should have. They escaped Arizona with a win. They let the Bengals hang around when Joe Flacco arrived in Cincinnati like 15 minutes before. But right now, like they've they're evolving, they're growing. This is still a very young team, but they're finding ways to win. And this is a very, very good team on both sides of the ball that I still think can come out of the NFC. Final game, Matthew Stafford. Good Lord. The Rams just dominate the Arizona Cardinals. This was one of my best bets on the Friday Best Bet show. And, just for proof, I'll put it up. We didn't go 5-0. We went 3-2, but Rams minus 8.5. Oh, yeah. That felt like a gift, considering that routinely the Rams usually win this game pretty handedly. And just seeing where the Cardinals are, and the Rams coming off a loss, this felt like a get-right game, and it certainly was. Matthew Stafford, 281 yards on the day, further cementing his spot as the MVP. 35 touchdowns, 4 picks on the year for Stafford. I hope that we get a Rams-Packers NFC title game because that's what we deserve as a nation. These are the two best teams in the NFC. You can make the argument they're the two best teams in football right now, and maybe the two best quarterbacks in football right now, in Stafford and Jordan Love.
The Rams ran for 249 yards.
Big Kyron Williams day.
Blake Corum had a great day,
Blake
too.
Corum.
He ran for 128. When you can get that run game going with, obviously, Matthew Stafford playing incredible and Puka Nacua dunking on people, it's going to be really hard.
Did you see the I think it was his first touchdown where he's matched up against, is it Will Johnson, the rookie?
Yeah.
And he beats him.
He goes up and gets it.
Yes.
And Will Johnson's not a bad player. He is
by no means. Yeah,
good player. He is a good rookie. And Puka just goes up and dunks on him. And he did that all game. Sideline catches, contested catches in the middle of the field. His physicality is also complemented by his fluidity and grace in those situations. It's so cool to watch, especially as someone who was a 5th-round pick. The Rams had a 67.2% success rate on Sunday.
That's bizarre.
Which is the second highest metric, second highest success rate any team has put up this season. I said this on our show earlier today, but do you want to guess who number 1 is?
I'm assuming it is. Was it another Rams game that had this?
No.
Okay. Who had the highest success? Oh, is it Detroit in week 2?
Nope.
Who was it?
The Kansas City Chiefs on Monday Night Football against the Jaguars.
And they lost.
68.3% success rate.
That's bizarre.
And lost the football game. Which, if that tells you more about the Chiefs, like it's one of those seasons. But the Rams have put up some of the most impressive offensive performances of the season by just a brutal efficiency. At one point in the game, they had run 28 plays. 15 of those were first downs. Like it's just that kind of season for them where everything is working right.
Incredible. This is, we've talked about it a lot this season, but to see Stafford have this kind of year after the conversations that we were having in August it's incredible. And he's aging like the finest of wines. If he is, he's on the final few holes of his career, but my God, he's putting on a show each and every week. And the Rams, the 2 losses that they have, the one against Philadelphia, or excuse me, there are 3 losses that they have. Am I right about that? Or did I make that up in my head? 3 losses. Yes.
Yeah.
So, they lose to Philadelphia because of blocked kicks. If not for a couple of red zone turnovers against the Panthers, they probably put up 40 and win that game. And then if Kyron Williams doesn't fumble on the goal line on Thursday Night Football against the 49ers, they win that game. So it's like very marginal stuff. Obviously, that happens to every team in the NFL. But this is a team that could very easily be 13-0 right now, if not for like very slim margin mistakes. So very big win for them. And that is every game on the Week 14 Sunday slate. So now we're going to transition and do something slightly not football related as we usually do. So we did the Christmas song draft a few weeks ago. So now we're going to do something else that's kind of trendy. I see, there's this thing on like TikTok or whatever where people are like, all right, Subway is conservative and Jersey Mike's is liberal. And those make me laugh. I saw Joey Molinaro do one where it's like what things are AFC and which things are NFC. I think that's kind of fun. So we'll do it with like Christmas movies. I think that could be fun. So my first example will be Christmas Vacation is AFC and the Polar Express is NFC.
That's real good. It makes sense because Polar Express is a little more buttoned up, a little more Like it's warm and fuzzy. Christmas Vacation is a little more reckless.
Yeah, it's reckless. It's rugged. There's a lot of swearing. Yeah.
So mine, Klaus is NFC. Die Hard is AFC.
Oh, that's a good shout. Yeah, that's good. Dude.
Die Hard doesn't to me, Die Hard doesn't count as a Christmas movie, but you're not going to tell them that. You're not going to tell Die Hard that. You're not going to tell the AFC that this doesn't count. Anything happens in the AFC. And then Klaus as an NFC movie, just the best vibes.
That is one of the very few movies, every time I watch it, I get emotional.
It's so good.
It is incredible. Me and my lady watched it maybe like a week and a half ago.
It's going to get in our Christmas movie rotation soon. And
I don't want to ruin it for everybody, so I'm not going. But at the very end, like the final frame where Art says, and I don't know how to explain it, but every year I get to see my friend. Oh, I collapse. I break. Oh, it kills me. It is such a terrific movie that's like very fun. It's a very good movie. If you haven't watched Klaus, everybody go watch it. It's on Netflix. It'll make you very happy in all the right ways. Excuse me. All right. This is going to irritate some people. But I'm going to go. Actually, no, I'll save this one for later. I will go. It's a Wonderful Life is NFC. A Christmas Story is AFC. Yeah. My It's a Wonderful Life. It comes back to like being like the Packers, Giants, or Bears, where it's very old. So I think that'll qualify them as like one of those for a Christmas Story. I don't know. It just feels AFC-y to me. A lot of this, I go off covers of the movies too. There's a lot of red involved with A Christmas Story, which, the AFC color. For the Polar Express, a lot of blues, a lot of blue hues. It fits more so into the NFC. So that's where I'll go with that. So my next one, Elf is NFC. Yes. How the Grinch Stole Christmas is AFC. Oh, that's good. What's your rationale behind Elf? Because mine is that the Elf is like the Cowboys. Like everybody, it's so popular and well known. That's why I would have put it in the NFC. My thing with Elf is it is one of Will Ferrell's best movies, but it is also not a typical Will Ferrell movie. Sure. And the NFC has all the best, has most of the best teams this season, but they're not your typical surefire Super Bowl contender team. Okay. Maybe the Rams are, but everybody else all has sort of is very flawed. Whereas with How the Grinch Stole Christmas in the AFC, there are so many different versions of How the Grinch Stole Christmas, but all of them revolve around one similar point of the Grinch making things bad. And while there are many different versions of the AFC, it all revolves around the Kansas City Chiefs. And the Chiefs decide whether this conference is going to be open or closed. I like that. No, that's very good. All right. I'm going to go with Home Alone is AFC. Home Alone 2 is NFC. That's a good one. Yeah. Because they're kind of like the same movie, but the slight differences to warrant. All right, yeah, we can make another one of these. And when it comes to the second one, a little bit more unpredictable, like the NFC is right now. So I think that warrants a fun little placement there. Yeah, I like that one. The Santa Claus is AFC. Yeah. The Santa Claus 2 is NFC. Yeah, that's good. I think it's just the color theme again. I think so too. Very much so. The Santa Claus, a lot of reds. Yes. I honestly should have said Santa Claus 3 is also Santa Claus 3 is very blue. Yeah. This is the Jack Frost. It just makes sense. I have a hot take in that the Santa Claus 2 is better than the first Santa Claus. I can rock with that. I think so too. I see where you're going with that. I love both of them, but I think I like 2 a little bit more. I think the story of 2, now that he's established it's Santa, is a lot better. It's easier to like him because he's not so much of a prick as he is in the first one. Yeah, and I think him being a prick in the first one is sort of why the first one was made. But now that he's full-fledged Santa, it just makes it a little more endearing. I agree. All right. The Muppet Christmas Carol is NFC, and Terrifier 3 is AFC.
That okay. Oh, we're stretching the limits of what a Christmas movie is.
Takes place, during Christmas, and in the opening scene, he's dressed like Santa Claus while butchering a family.
Okay. I'll allow it.
Have you seen I don't see you as being a big Terrifier guy. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Yeah.
If I said Die Hard,
hey, you did say Die Hard, yeah.
All right. A Charlie Brown Christmas is NFC.
Yes, it is.
Nightmare Before Christmas is AFC.
Oh, that's good. Yep, I like that.
It just makes sense for, like, I don't know if you're Halloween. I don't know if you're Christmas. We're counting you as Christmas today. That feels like the AFC, and in the NFC, just like it's old, like you said, very old.
Yes. What other Christmas movies have I not said yet, or have you not said yet? I don't know. Jingle All the Way is AFC, and what would be NFC to Jingle All the Way? No, I think that's more of an AFC one. I'll say, does Frozen count as a Christmas movie?
No,
I didn't think so.
I was actually just having this conversation with my girlfriend the other day. Frozen's not a Christmas movie.
It's a winter movie.
It's just there's snow.
Yes.
That's because there's snow doesn't make it Christmas.
I agree with that. I 100% agree with that. I was just making sure that we were on
there's
the same
nothing
page
Christmas themed about Frozen.
I agree.
It's got snow and ice.
That's fair. I'll say Fred Claus is NFC.
Oh,
have you seen Fred Claus?
I have. That's a good one.
Yeah. Vince Vaughn's just great.
Incredible. Like very, very underrated, low key underrated.
Yeah. Everything that he does, like Wedding Crashers is one of my favorite movies, and he's great in that. The Starsky and Hutch movie with Ben Stiller and Owen Wilson and him is also very good. Yeah. Big Vince Vaughn people here.
So I'm going to go with a little bit of a throwback.
Okay.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is NFC. A Year Without Santa Claus with the Heat Miser, Snow Miser is AFC.
That's good. That's just good.
The vibes of that one, just it feels a little reckless, feels a little more wild than Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
I can get on board with that. All the Rankin Bass ones are, I don't know how I feel about them. Like, I don't love them, but there is something cozy about them. The stop motion. It feels
like Christmas.
Yeah.
When you watch.
It does. It does. All right. I'm going to go with Jim Carrey's The Grinch is AFC.
Yeah.
And then the NFC would be Frosty the Snowman.
Jim Carrey's The Grinch is the most AFC movie ever. Like it shouldn't work, but it is one of my favorite Christmas movies ever. It actually might be my favorite Christmas movie ever.
Really? Okay.
Yes, I love that movie. It's either that or Klaus, but it's just such a good, like, it's funny, but also has the Christmas theme to it. And Jim Carrey as the Grinch is one of my favorite castings of all time.
Oh, it's the best. It's the absolute best. Okay, The Christmas Chronicles is AFC. Christmas Chronicles 2. I'm kidding. I haven't seen Christmas Chronicles 2 yet, honestly. How about Noelle on Disney Plus is NFC?
Ooh, I don't think I've seen that one.
Anna Kendrick's in it. She's pretty cool.
She is pretty cool.
Yeah. I'm a big Pitch Perfect. She's in Pitch Perfect.
Yes,
those movies are good. Yeah.
Great movie.
Nice.
Have we done one for Miracle on 34th Street?
We have not.
Miracle on 34th Street feels like an NFC movie.
I agree.
That feels like a real NFC movie. We've done Christmas Chronicles.
Yeah. Which, by the way, if you haven't seen Christmas Chronicles yet, it's so good.
I'm gonna go with, because I just saw this movie last year, and I'm like, this movie is very stupid, but I also think like there's some funny parts of it. Red One.
Oh God, I haven't seen it.
It's so stupid, but it's so funny. It's a funny stupid because imagining The Rock as an elf,
right?
It's hilarious.
Is like, Ryan Reynolds in that too?
Yes.
Yeah,
again,
okay.
If you watch it, just watch for The Rock and Ryan Reynolds banter because that's actually a really good part of that movie.
I'm not anti-Rock. I think a lot of people have grown to be anti-Rock over the last like year or so because like his movies are all the same, where he just plays himself.
This is one of those. This is The Rock, but he's an elf.
I think Ryan Reynolds kind of falls into that too. We're like Ryan Reynolds is just Ryan Reynolds in every movie.
Yeah, this is just The Rock as an elf and Ryan Reynolds as like a hacker.
Okay,
like, it's incredible. If you're gonna watch, you're watching for The Rock and Ryan Reynolds.
Okay, so is it worth watching?
It is. I think it is. If you're like in the need for a Christmas movie and you really want to get like, if you really want some fun vibes, I think
if you go into it with a mindset of like, all right, this isn't gonna, be a 5-star classic. It's just gonna be goofy.
Yeah. If you go into it thinking like this is going to be a dumb movie, then you're gonna like it. If you go into it expecting like, if you're expecting to like tear up at the joy of Christmas, you're not gonna like it.
That's fine. As long as I can know what to expect, then I can get on board with that. All right. I think that's a good place to put a bow on it. We've got our respective conferences set when it comes to Christmas movies. JP Acosta, I love you and I love doing shows with you. What do you got coming on CBS Sports that the good folks need to check out?
Yep. We just had a show Pushing the Pile. We had our Sunday review today. We have a Tuesday film review going up tomorrow that you should be on the lookout for. Thursday preview on Pushing the Pile. Make sure to find it on our YouTube channel, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Leave comments, reviews. Like we love all that. We love seeing all that. And then of course, find me at CBS Sports. I'll be writing once a week. Make sure to find out what I'm writing there. And I'm going to be on CBS Sports HQ, CBS Sports Network. Wherever CBS Sports is showing football content, I'll probably be there. And I'm also petitioning to let them to let me call the Nickelodeon game.
I did see that. Yeah, they absolutely should.
I'm hoping they let me do that.
Yeah, I mean, you're on the same payroll now, so it can happen.
Exactly. This is something that can happen. So if Paramount is listening, get in touch with me. I'll have my people call your people.
Well, I enjoy seeing my friends get things that they want, so I hope that does come true. Everybody, if you're watching this on YouTube, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. We are less than 100 away from 3,000. That's exciting, and I would like to get there before the end of the year, so that would be nice. My birthday's in a few weeks, so if you want to give me a nice birthday present, get us to 3K subscribers. Writing-wise, did a piece on the MVP race as the light goes out. Did a piece on the MVP race to Sporting News, so go and check that out, as well as all the Steelers work behind the steel curtain. So like I said, subscribe to the channel, listen as a podcast, leave a comment, leave a review. Appreciate everybody for tuning in to this edition of The Pump Fake. We'll be back later on in the week.